let's make some picks right
Let's
now.
do
Start
it.
with our six-pack of picks game where we will be 3:30 Eastern Time, USC and Oregon. Who do you like, Pete?
So it's interesting, Rece. This would be Lincoln Riley's biggest win by ranked opponent in his USC tenure. He's beaten LSU ranked in the top 15, Notre Dame ranked in the top 15. Michigan was in that neighborhood when they played him this year. I'm not sure if they're quite, but anyway, he's had some good wins. But this would be his biggest with Oregon at 7, and it would sort of push USC back to where they expected to be under Lincoln Riley, right? Which is in the thicket of the playoff race. I don't think this would put him in the field. You'd probably have a better feel on that, but I think it would put him on the cusp of the field. Is that fair?
They'd be in the fight. They would have an opportunity,
Yes.
Pete, to get in the Big Ten championship game if they could get some help from Michigan.
Sure, and that would obviously be that would obviously put them in a better position to win. But anyway, these are the games why these are the moments that USC hired Lincoln Riley for, right? To play high stakes games with College Game Day there, big audience, hostile venue, the whole thing, and I give this USC program a lot of credit, Rece. They have grown and evolved to where that when their mettle has been tested in the Big Ten this year, the Iowa game comes to mind. They have responded. Michigan, I mean, they beat Michigan's pants off, right? I mean, it was significant. So I give USC a lot of credit for its evolution because it simply wasn't that way when they initially entered the Big Ten. So they stumbled late at Illinois. Notre Dame handled them pretty easily. But you look at Nebraska this year, look at Iowa this year, they have proven they can kind of go toe-to-toe in the trenches with the Big Ten. That said, I just think Oregon's more talented, man. I just think they're better. There'll be good quarterback play there. Oregon has better quarterback play. Oregon, holistic skill. I mean, no one's Mekhi Lemon, right? But like holistic skill, I think a depth of skill, tight ends, etc. I think Oregon is just a little bit higher class. So I'm going to take the Ducks, but I think this will be a very good, close game and kind of fun, right? Like it's fun to have USC back playing big games like this.
I'm so tempted.
Oh, really?
I'm so tempted to pick SC.
Do it.
Well, that's just because I've got a pretty good lead on you in these picks right now.
I'm terrible.
In the race for the ribeye.
Thank God Teddy wouldn't be going to college if it was relying on my picks. So,
but I agree with what you said. I think Oregon overall is better. A little more talent, probably more disruptors on defense, more likely to make a game-changing play on defense, I think. And ultimately, I feel like this game's going to go one of two ways. Either SC is going to have the ball and have a chance to win with a final drive. Whether they do it or not remains to be seen. Or Oregon's going to stomp them. I don't know. I'm gonna go Oregon, but I will probably be kicking myself if this game is tied because I like SC. I think SC is improving. They've been scrappy and gutty, all the things you mentioned. I'll take Oregon, but I don't think it's crazy if people take SC, and I might even change my mind by Saturday morning. Who knows?
Interesting.
Missouri and Oklahoma. Sooners are going to have to come back to earth after the game. They also need to get their offense going, sort of masked in the fact that they made every clutch play against Alabama. They had 200 yards of offense. Yeah. And Mateer, while a great leader and a fun guy to watch play, really since the thumb injury, he's rushed for a touchdown in the last couple of games, but he's got 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, and they haven't thrown for very many yards. Missouri can really run it. Both these teams are disruptive and tackles for loss. Remember last year, Zion Young returned a fumble for a touchdown in the waning seconds. I think like 20 seconds left, and Missouri won the game. They haven't won in Norman since 1966, back when they were both in the Big 8 before the Big 12. You like OU in this game or Mizzou?
I would point out to our listeners who do take games of chance that the status of Bo Prabula is something that will be updated as the week wears on here, which would factor into perhaps how you would pick this game one way or another. With him, Missouri certainly, with him healthy, moving, running, etc., Missouri would have a better chance against Oklahoma. I feel like Missouri's defense is uniquely equipped with their power at defensive ends and at linebacker to really handle John Mateer. That said, I can't pull the trigger on a Missouri upset here. I don't think of Brent Venables' defense is going to let Ahmad Hardy run for 300 yards. Isn't that what he had against Mississippi State?
Yeah, close to it. They ran as
it was over 300.
I mean, they completed 8 passes and still ran
I just think you
wild
need
on
more
them.
balance, and I think it'll be hard. So I will take the Sooners in a close one.
Me too. I mean, taking the Sooners in a close game. Hardy leads the nation in rushing. You're going to have to be able to make some plays in the passing game against him. However, if you can run it, that's probably the best way to neutralize the pressure and the blitzes that Oklahoma will send at your passer in terms of creating negative plays. If you can, block those in the run game, you've probably got a good shot. But especially even if Pribula comes back, hasn't played. And we saw how difficult that was for Mateer coming back in a game against Texas when he hadn't played. So I'll take OU in that game as well.
He's been good this year, Rece, but he's not been an all-SEC quarterback. Pribula. He's been fine, but he's not been dominant.
Yeah. The ACC confirming that Georgia Tech goes to the ACC championship game if they win Saturday night on the Flats on ESPN against Pittsburgh. What do you got?
Yeah, boy, recency bias would make it tough to pick Pittsburgh after what we saw on Saturday in the Steel City. Desmond Reed left that Notre Dame game limping. He's been in and out all year. I feel like without him, Pitt is just is a little bit. It's a little bit tough. And look, Mason Heinzel's been a great story. I've hyped him up. We've talked about him a lot. When the class of defense stepped up, he turtled a little bit. Look, he's a freshman. He's very good. He's got a long way to go. So that's the one I was saying. I feel like this is a low scoring, hard hitting game, sort of two similar program ethoses. I think Tech squeaks it out.
I'm taking Pitt.
Oh, really?
I think Georgia Tech, I know they got clipped and they probably should have again on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I think Georgia Tech Pittsburgh can create enough Georgia Tech mistakes to pull the upset and spin the ACC wheel of destiny just a little bit farther.
It would be very ACC for Pitt to win this game.
Yeah, and set up Miami and Pittsburgh next week, and then figuring out the combinations and permutations there. And meanwhile, Virginia just quietly keeps finding ways to win and might win their way right into the playoff.
Yeah, and their league loss came with their quarterback concussed, who clearly makes a difference, and that becomes a conversation point in all this. So.
For sure, Tennessee and Florida in the Swamp. Gators sort of playing out the string, waiting on Lane Kiffin. Tennessee's lost most of its big games. This game, Vanderbilt game, is really going to determine, good season, bad season for Tennessee.
Yeah,
good season or disappointing season for Tennessee.
Sure. I think you got to have to take Tennessee rolling here in the Swamp. Florida has shown a little mettle since Billy Napier's firing. They're certainly still talented, but it is hard. It's just hard to pick them at this point because they just keep losing.
Yeah, I feel the same way, Pete. Now, would it shock me beyond words if they show up and play a great game? Because as we talked about, they've got talent. They gave Ole Miss a really good fight.
Played well,
but then they also sort of played as you might expect against Kentucky. I think Tennessee rolls in this game and sets up a pretty significant game with Vanderbilt for positioning and bragging rights, and Vanderbilt's outside playoff hope, still hoping that they aren't overlooked and they can get in the at-large pool and evaluated there. I'll take Tennessee to win that game on the road, though. Rare Swamp win for them. BYU and Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati hurt itself with a loss to Arizona, which was a really entertaining game. BYU can win its way if they win out their last two games. They'll play in the Big 12 championship game, but a road game, Nippert Stadium. Who do you like? You like the Cougars or the Bearcats?
I am going to go with Ole 4-7. those following games of chance would want to note whether or not Evan Pryor is going to return for Cincinnati this week. That seemed to be trending that way when I was tracking that this week. We'll have more to update on Mr. Pryor's status. He's obviously Ohio State transfer, Cincinnati's leading rusher. But I give BYU a lot of credit. They bounced back from that loss and were dominant last week. And I just think
they look good.
Yeah, I just think they're and TCU did not look good, by the way. I think they are a little bit higher class than Cincinnati right now. Great, fun quarterback matchup, right? Sorsby and Bachmeier, two good ones, and Nippert will be electric, so it should be a fun one.
I'm going to go with BYU too. I think they're better. I don't think they'll miss the opportunity to get the rematch with Texas Tech, and I suspect that the same thing will happen that happened in the first meeting between BYU and Texas Tech. But that's why they play the games. We'll find out. I think they're a tough-minded team. They'll probably be even better next year, and Bachmeier gets another year under his belt at quarterback. But I think he's got enough, and they've got enough as a team to go in and squeak one out past Cincinnati. Pete, you mentioned earlier that USF's win over Boise sort of set the pecking order among the group of 5 conferences in terms of who's likely to get the bid for the playoff among the 5 highest-ranked conference champions. But been some good ball in the Mountain West.
Sure.
One of the surprise teams of the season has been Hawaii. UNLV just continues to find ways to win, pull games out. Dan Mullen 8-2 there against a Hawaii team, and Timmy Chang, who's 7-3. Both teams 4-2 in Mountain West play. Who wins the game? That's a late one Friday night, so we're going to allow that to be the deep cut.
Yeah, we could take a late game and roll in. I'm going to have to go with our friends the Rebels. Calandria has come in and been one of the better quarterbacks in college football this year. The Virginia transfer who is piloting Dan Mullen and Corey Dennis's office at UNLV. Hawaii, I do feel like when you're picking is pick Hawaii at home, pick against them on the road. It should be a good game. Give Timmy Chang a lot of credit. It was a career-altering season that he has authored so far this year in terms of getting him on the right trajectory. So, but I think the Rebels have a little too much metal.
That's a good rule of thumb. Just briefly to tell you, at Arizona, Hawaii loses 40-6. At Air Force, they won. Air Force has struggled a bit this year.
Mm-hmm.
They won at Colorado State. Colorado State has really struggled. But they've lost at San Jose State also. They lost at Fresno by 2. So why in the world am I picking Hawaii? Well, you're loyal to people who are loyal to you, Pete. And they helped me out a couple of weeks ago. So you know what? And Vegas, you know what? I love Dan Mullen. He's a wonderful guy and a wonderful coach. I'm sorry I picked against you last week on the Superdog, and I'm sorry I'm picking against you now. But I gotta give Pete a chance to come back a little bit here. So I'll go opposite, and I'll take Hawaii. Young quarterback's good. Malahado's good player.
You're loyal to Timmy Chang
player.
From all those nights in the studio where you're waiting for his games to end.
Many late nights waiting on Timmy to break the all-time passing record and stuff. That's good.